There are moments in life when the world feels unbearably loud, when every voice outside seems to drown out the quiet one within. As Napoleon Hill once said, "Thoughts are seeds, but they only bloom when watered by action." And yet, so many of us talk endlessly about our dreams, while never taking the steps to live them. Kate was one of them. She was the kind of person whose eyes lit up when she spoke of the future. Every week she had a new plan, a new project, a new dream. She told everyone about what she was going to do, the course she would start, the business she would launch, the trip she would take, the book she would finally write. Her words painted vivid pictures, and for a moment, those around her could almost see it too. But time passed and nothing changed. Her notebooks were full, her conversations inspiring, but her reality remained the same. She mistook movement of the mouth for movement of the soul. She believed that being heard was the same as being alive, but deep down, something in her began to ache. Each time she spoke of a dream and didn't act on it, the dream seemed to dim a little more. It was as if the more she talked, the less she believed. One afternoon, Kate sat across from her friend Grace in a quiet cafe. Grace was everything Kate wasn't, calm, centered, and observant. She didn't speak much, but when she did, her words carried weight. As the soft hum of the coffee machine filled the silence, Kate began talking again, excitedly describing yet another idea she had. Grace listened quietly, stirring her tea, her eyes gentle but steady. When Kate finally paused, Grace smiled and said softly, "Kate, you talk so much about what you'll do that maybe the universe doesn't know where to start helping you." The words hung in the air, light but sharp. Kate froze, a little embarrassed, unsure how to respond. There was no judgment in Grace's tone, only truth. For the first time, Kate didn't defend herself. She didn't laugh it off or promise that this time it'll be different. She just sat there, silent. On her walk home, those words replayed in her mind again and again. She looked around, the streetlights flickering, the faint sound of cars in the distance, and realized how long it had been since she had simply listened. That night, Kate didn't post about her plans online. She didn't call anyone to talk about her ideas. She just sat by her window, feeling the stillness around her, and for the first time, the silence didn't feel empty. It felt powerful. The next morning she woke up early, before the noise of the world began. She brewed coffee, opened her notebook, and turned to a blank page. Instead of writing what she wanted to do, she wrote what she would start doing, today. One line, one task. No audience, no announcements, just her and her intention. Day by day, Kate kept her plans to herself. When people asked what she'd been up to, she simply smiled and said, "Just working on a few things." There was no need to explain, no need to prove. Her energy, once scattered by endless talk, began to focus. She stopped seeking validation and started seeking progress. And slowly, the world began to change around her. The projects that had once felt impossible began to take shape. She completed tasks she had postponed for years. She stopped needing applause to feel alive. The silence became her companion, her teacher, her source of strength. At first, it was strange. The absence of approval felt like loss. But then she noticed something. The less she spoke, the more she heard, her intuition, her rhythm, her own truth. She realized that the world's noise had never been her obstacle. Her own noise had. Months passed. The people who once heard her big speeches now saw quiet results. Her business began to grow. The book she always talked about was halfway written, and Grace, always watching quietly, saw the transformation with a knowing smile. One evening, Kate met Grace again at the same cafe. This time, Kate spoke little. Her words were slower, measured. Grace listened and nodded. "You've changed," she said. Kate smiled. "I stopped talking about my life," she replied, "and started living it." They both laughed softly, and in that small moment, something invisible shifted between them. The understanding that silence had done what words never could. Kate walked home through streets glowing with golden light. Everything felt different now. The air, the sound of her steps, even the way her thoughts moved. Calm, steady, real. She finally understood that silence wasn't emptiness. It was space, space for action, space for growth, space for the universe to respond. She thought again of Napoleon Hill's words, "Thought is the cause, reality is the effect." She had spent years trapped in the cause, thinking, talking, imagining, but never allowing the effect to take form. Only when she stopped announcing her dreams did they finally have room to grow. Because silence, she realized, isn't the absence of sound. It's the presence of power. In the months that followed, Kate's life blossomed quietly. No big announcements, no public promises. Just steady, quiet progress. Each morning she worked in peace, and each night she thanked the silence that had once scared her. The world outside still buzzed with noise, people shouting their plans, arguing, comparing, performing, but Kate no longer felt the need to join them. She had learned the secret rhythm of creation. Whisper to the universe, then act. Don't demand attention, earn alignment. One evening, she returned to her old notebooks, pages full of ideas she had once shared but never lived. She smiled gently, realizing that none of those words were wasted. They were simply waiting for her to become the person who could bring them to life. She closed the notebook, placed it on her shelf, and whispered, "Thank you for waiting." In the quiet that followed, she felt a deep peace, the kind that doesn't come from applause or recognition, but from the quiet knowing that you are finally aligned with what you were meant to do. The girl who once filled the air with words had learned the wisdom of stillness, and from that stillness her true voice emerged, not spoken, but lived. Because sometimes the universe doesn't need to hear your plans. It just needs to see your actions. If this story touched something inside you, share it so it can reach more hearts. Every simple act of support creates gratitude and always returns as blessings. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell, and walk with me on this journey of learning and transformation. I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments what this message awakened within you. Your experience might inspire someone else. The path of transformation is long, but together it becomes lighter.